You want to get t-shirts made, so naturally you find a printer. But you or your printer still need a designer. You need a graphic. You need to figure out what that graphic is going to look like, what apparel to use, who's going to dye it. You need to figure out a lot of things. And you're not even a creative director or a project manager. You're a musician or an artist or something else. Either way, you're busy. You can't take the time to do it, and you're paying people for every step of that process. And then you found Humbles. We handle all of that in-house, from concept to completion. We'll get into how that works in a minute, but first, let's talk about the style. Humbles flash style graphics. This didn't come from inspiration. It goes back to where it all started. We have a dedicated style that's been honed over the years, but it didn't start in the print shop. It started in a tattoo shop. Tattoo culture has a long-standing tradition passed down through the generations. Flash on the wall, bold lines, flat color, designs you could point at and say, that one. The whole thing is built around clarity. You walk in, you look at the wall, you make a decision, you leave with something that will last a lifetime. That discipline is where this style comes from, not as a reference, but as a way of life. After years of talking custom tattoos at the counter, you learn what people really want, not just for the individual, but overall. You learn that a design has to become recognizable at any size, on any surface, from across the room. You learn how to listen, how to understand what someone is describing before they can fully describe it themselves. This was before anyone walked in with a phone and pointed at someone else's tattoo. It was a real conversation, agreed upon aesthetic, a handshake between what the customer wanted in the language that the artist spoke. That language, the foundation of how we draw, has translated directly into how we print. A skull, a big cat, simple subjects, the kind of thing that's been drawn a million times. But there's a difference between a skull and a Humbles skull, between a cat and a Humbles cat. The Humbles style sits somewhere between traditional and tribal tattooing, hand-drawn forms built with a sculpted line rather than a single stroke. The sculpted line is what creates depth, the style, and the recognition. When people see it, they know it. That recognition has value. This style became recognizable over years of drawing it. It's what I do. And when the work moved into garment design, it was a clear transition. The same approach that works on skin works on fabric. Because after all, if someone is willing to leave one of these drawings as a permanent mark on their body, they sure would wear it on a t-shirt. What started as hobbyist screen printing became a full creative studio. That's Humbles today. When you come to Humbles for graphics, you're not just getting a drawing. You're getting the Humbles identity attached to your brand. We work with a limited number of clients at a time to make sure that stays true. And even though we are fully equipped for larger runs, the point is to keep it small. That's also what makes this accessible for developing artists. Low minimums, custom merch, no need to overcommit. You can start where you are. Everything here starts with a drawing, and what I'm designing for you isn't a single graphic. It's a collection, a set of drawings that work together and become the visual language of your collection, based on your brand in partnership with Humbles. It's a great way to add a stylized dimension to an already successful merch line, or if you're building something new, we have fully hosted packages that handle the whole thing, brand vision, design, production, so you can have merch with as little friction as possible. Tees, long sleeves, and hoodies are where most collections start, but the collection I build for you isn't limited to those. Hats, pants, shorts, whatever you're thinking. If you can put ink on it, I can design for it. The whole thing grows with you. So here's how it actually works. You come to Humbles with your project. You talk about what you're putting out, who it's for, and what you need it to say. From there, I handled the design, concept, illustration, layout, everything. Once the graphics are locked, we move into production. Garment sourcing, dyeing if needed, screen setup, printing, all of that happens here under one roof, under one eye. There's no handoff, no version of your project sitting in someone else's inbox waiting to be interpreted. The person who drew it is the person who prints it. No extra logistical costs, from shipping apparel all over the place, shipping from garment dyer to printer to fulfillment warehouse to customer. We cut all of that out, leaving enough meat on the bone for you to turn a profit. The flat rate model exists because we've been on the other side of this. Hourly billing that adds up in ways you didn't expect, separate invoices for design, for screens, for production. We simplified it. You know what you're getting into before we start. For those who want even more hands-off merch services, we offer fully hosted packages, brand vision, design, production, fulfillment, and customer service, all managed through Humbles so you can focus on what you do and let us handle the rest. Your merch doesn't need to be just a promotional item, an ad. Your merch can turn a profit instead. Concept to completion, one studio, one rate, one hand. This is what we do. This is all we do. And we've been doing it long enough to know how to do it right. Head to humblesbrand.com to learn more or start a project.